I know it's hard to believe now, but I can remember a time when all this was just fields. Look what they've done to it now. What a terrible misuse of a natural resource. And talking of a big waste of space, here's our roving reporter, Pippa Wedge.
I'm here in the picturesque village of Chippenhampton, where according to reports, several villagers have been abducted by aliens. Here, to give us his thoughts on this incredible story, I'm joined by the chairman of the Chippenhampton Village Council, Mr. Jerry Livingstone.
Hello, Pippa. Welcome to Chippenhampton.
Jerry, could you clarify exactly what's been happening round here?
I certainly can. It all started last week when I was serving a customer in my restaurant. Oh, by the way, viewers, if you're ever down this way, be sure to call into Jerry's Tea Rooms at 23 High Street, where a warm welcome awaits you. Somerset cream tea's our speciality.
Jerry, could we get back to the abductions, please?
Ah, yes, the abductions. So far, we've lost Val Jessup, the landlady at the Red Lion, Horace Sloper, the farrier, and Olive Green, the librarian. Each one of them vanished into thin air, never to be seen again.
Afternoon, Jerry.
Oh, afternoon, Olive.
Surely you don't expect us to believe all this?
I hope you're not inferring I'm pulling your leg, young lady.
Oh, Jerry, Val wanted to know, are you going to be popping in the Red Lion tonight?
Oh, yes, tell her I'll be in my usual time, Horace.
Jerry, isn't it true that the number of visitors to Chippenhampton has declined considerably since the new ring road was built? And that this incredible alien abduction story is just a ruse to get those visitors back? Jerry? Jerry? Well, that was incredible. 1 minute he was here, the next minute he was gone. I think Mr. Cameraman and I had better get out of this place fast. This is Pippa Wedge saying... Bloody hell!
Pippa Wedge there, but only just. Now it's time for Trevor's Tip of the Week. Each week I give you, my loyal viewers, the benefit of my extensive knowledge of all things agricultural.
Trevor's Things Agricultural!
This week I'm talking tools, gardening tools. And when it comes to imparting important implement information, you can rely on me implicitly. Now, here's this week's tip. Never, ever lend your tools or garden implements to anyone. You'll burn your fingers, like I did the time I poked the bonfire with a rake, then realised I'd lent the rake to somebody else. It all came to a head when the local Amateur Dramatic Society borrowed a few things for their musical production of The Full Monty. That was 3 years ago, and I haven't seen my 8-inch dibber since. You mark my words, there'll be squally showers first thing in the morning, but then it'll brighten up by lunchtime. But be warned, there's a risk of heavy rain in the late afternoon. Well, that's what the GMTV weather girl says anyhow. The West Country is full of talented performers, absolutely bursting with creative ideas. It's a pity that our programme budget won't stretch to any of them. So, here's the most famous poet ever to come out of Little Twitching Under the Tump, that wizardess of witty wordplay, Christabel Toadmangler.
There are certain words which seem to cry out in a soft, plaintive voice, don't you think? Words like sad, lonely, heartbroken. And I'm leaving you tonight and moving to Bridgewater with your younger, more attractive sister, you ugly old trout. And bleak, empty sadness is at the heart of my latest poem, which I'm just about to read out to you. I call it Misery, but once you've heard it, you might call it something else. Misery by Christabel Toadmangler. Oh, black, black, black night, bereft of light, 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 light. Where is the sun, 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 sun? Did you shoot it out of the sky with your big gun, 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 gun? Gun.
Despite what city folk think, living in the country isn't always a pleasant experience. Our local constabulary tirelessly does its best to crack down on rural crime, but never seems to get the recognition that big city policemen and women do. So, each week, we'll be taking a fly-on-the-wall look, or should that be a blue bottle-on-the-wall look, at two members of the local constabulary, Detective Sergeant Dawn Breaks and Detective Sergeant Marlon Munro, as they go undercover in the segment of the show that we call Country Crime Crackers.
I spy with my little eye something beginning with W.
Does it rhyme with banker? Or tanker, maybe? Or possibly rancor, as in malicious resentfulness?
Oh, don't be like that. I spy passes the time. Come on, have a guess. Something beginning with W.
It had better not be windscreen again. You've had windscreen 11 times this morning and I'm bloody sick of it. Do you understand? Sick of it. So this latest W had better not be windscreen. Or I'm going to take great pleasure in shoving your warrant card where the sun don't shine. Do I make myself clear? Well, do I?
Fancy a game of battleships?
'Tis true there can be no light while darkness reigns. As the basic law of physics clearly explains, it's just scientifically impossible for the sun to come out in the middle of the night to make it light. If it did, it would put the makers of light bulbs out of work and cause untold misery in the candle industry, not to mention the impact it would have on the manufacturers of torches, batteries, fireworks, street lights, and glow-in-the-dark condoms. Don't suppose you ever thought of that?
A very big thank you to all those of you who entered in last month's competition. Be a mucking about in the country presenter for a day. Over 700 of you sent in videos and we thoroughly enjoyed watching them. Especially the one sent in by two very attractive, very athletic ladies from Cirencester, who may have misheard the name of the show. Girls, it's mucking about in the country. Yes, I really enjoyed watching that one. Several times. Anyhow, this month's winners are Katie Rogers and Andy Taylor, who we now join live down on the farm.
Hi there, I'm Andy Taylor.
And I'm Katie Rogers.
We're here at Lower Yatsbury Farm to tell you all about the wonderfully exciting new developments in the world of sheep dip.
Well, you might be, but I'm here for some rampant outdoor sex. Cut!
There I was, out in deep water, when suddenly the weather takes a turn for the worse. Black clouds scudded across the darkening sky. The wind started chilling me to my bones, and the rain came down heavier than a net full of haddock. I starts rowing towards the shore, but the elements were against me. First, I loses one oar, then I loses the other oar. My little craft was being buffeted up and down and up and down. I thought I was done for. But then, through the wind and rain, I heard a man's voice. The sound of that voice will stay with me forever, as he called out, "Come in, number 17. Your time is up." Today's programme is devoted entirely to safety on the farm. Now, official statistics reveal that 7 out of 10 farmers will at some time in their lives have an accident. 7 out of 10? I find that rather hard to buggeration. Well, don't just stand there. Somebody help me up.
I'm here with one of the most controversial, not to say hated, men in the West Country.
I told you not to say most hated men in the West Country, huh? I am one of the most hated men in the entire world. Believe me, wasn't easy getting that little title. There's a lot of competition out there. Insurance salesmen, estate agents. Alan Titchmarsh.
His use of pesticides, chemicals, and other toxic materials have made him many enemies. He is Mr. G. M. Crapper.
Not Crapper, Cropper.
I'm so sorry. He is Mr. G.M. Crapper Cropper. Tell me, what do you say to your critics that accuse you of ruining the countryside?
Ah, that's horse.
It's manure on regional television.
I know. That's why I bought a digibox.
And can you explain to your critics the benefits of using cheap, unstable chemicals on your crops?
I sure can. Government subsidies, obscene profits, and a directorship of the Apocalyptic Chemical Corporation.
But what are going to be the long-term effects?
Possibly an honorary knighthood, maybe a stab at the presidency. Besides, all these effects, they're just temporary. These pollutants will evaporate in 2,000-3,000 years.
3,000 years? But surely you're concerned about the future of your children and your children's children.
Hell no,
But why not?
because they all live on my private island in the Bahamas.
Mr. Crapper Cropper.
Cropper!
I'm so sorry. Mr. Crapper Cropper. Tell me, can you assure us that the chemicals haven't affected the animals on your farm?
Well, we may have made the occasional mistake. Like the time we crossed a chicken with an octopus, so a family of 8 could sit down for Sunday dinner and each have a leg.
So, a cow that ate grass covered with chemicals would produce good, normal, healthy milk.
Of course. I drink my own farm milk every day. It's never affected.
This is Pippa Wedge for Mucking About in the Country at the farm of Mr. Crapper. Will you stop scratching yourself down there, you disgusting man?
Must be a touch of other rash or something. Mrs. Leggett, who runs my B&B down in Ilfracombe, she's a wonderful person. In fact, she volunteered to look after my old sheepdog Tess for me. To be honest, she's a bit of a sorry sight these days. Just the one good eye, ear ripped off in a fight with a bulldog, and a continuous stream of dribble coming down the side of her mouth. But the thing is, she's very good with animals.
Hi there, I'm Andy Taylor.
And I'm as randy as a mare on heat. Oh.
Cat! Cat!
This week, I'm going to be talking to you about fox hunting. It's a topic which divides the townies and the country folk, and it gets you lot writing letters to me in your hundreds. You all know my views about the fox hunting tradition. I think it's wicked, cruel, and humiliating. Have you ever stopped to think what it must be like for those poor men and women wearing those ridiculous scarlet jackets, those long black riding boots, and those silly little riding hats that make them look like complete plonkers? Ugh, it's barbaric, that's what I calls it.
I wrote this poem while I was lying on a trolley in an hospital corridor for 12 hours. It was terribly cold and draughty. It made me utterly miserable. What a shocking way to treat a human being. Simply shocking. I only went to the bleeding place to visit my grandmother.
So you're not using it as much as you used to?
Nah. Maybe once a month. I sometimes wonder if there's any point in me hanging on to it.
Doesn't look worn out. I reckon you get another 2, maybe 3 more years out of it. What's that mark on the end?
Oh, that's where my wife and her mother started arguing over who was going to use it first. And then banged it on the fridge door.
Does your wife's mother get hold of it a lot?
Only for emergencies. Oh yeah, and when she's in the mood for something hot and spicy. And orders an Indian takeaway.
30,000 yellow canaries in cages reading John Grisham paperbacks. Why do they prefer legal thrillers to Geoffrey Archer's novels? Grisham's books can sometimes be very difficult to put down, whereas Geoffrey's books are very difficult to pick up. Why is this? I have no idea. In the swirling purple mists inside me head, I see traffic lights uproot themselves and form teams dressed in white to play cricket on the village green. Am I on the slippery slope to insanity? Or just suffering with a crap cold? I have no idea. But perhaps you do. Thank you.
As usual, we'll be covering a wide variety of country topics on this show. Everything from manure to silage and from compost to cowpats. No wonder this programme's been described as a breath of fresh air in the schedules. Now, I know that some of you have been having a bit of a problem with warble fly. Their continuous warbling under your bedroom window at night can keep you awake for hours. So here's what I suggest you do.
Excuse me? Sorry, I realise you're making a TV programme and all that. I'm a little bit lost. But what's it called, by the way?
Mucking about in the country. With me, Trevor Locksmith.
Really? Look, I'm a bit lost. I think I've taken the wrong road out of Warminster.
No, that's impossible. Any road out of Warminster's the right road. Hey?
I'm looking for Frampton Manor. I was due to give a lecture there half an hour ago at an interactive business seminar.
Can't say it rings a bell with me.
You've never heard of Frampton Manor?
Oh no, I knows it well. I've just never heard of an interactive business seminar.
So can you point me in the right direction? I'm in rather a hurry.
I don't know, you city people. You should learn to take things a bit more slowly like us country folk.
Trevor, darling, can we hurry things along a bit, please?
Do you or don't you know the way to Frampton Manor?
Right. You take this road down to the crossroads, then you take a right, then you take another right, and then you take one more right.
But won't that bring me straight back here?
That's quite correct. Frampton Manor's right behind you.
Hi there, I'm Andy Taylor. And today I'm at Hilltop Farm, just outside of Cheltenham, where I'll be...
Giving me a damn good sing to. Oh yeah, come here, big boy. Oh.
Cat! Cat!
Let's take a last look at the weather with that salty old sea dog, Albert Nazy. Here is the long-range weather forecast. It's going to rain tomorrow. On this week's programme, Sheila Hardicott will be making a rabbit pie. Whether the rabbit actually eats the pie, of course, is another matter. After that, we'll
Sorry to interrupt your little programme, but you are Trevor Locksmith off the telly, aren't you?
Matter of fact, I am, but we're in the middle of filming now. No, sorry, I can't sign autographs. If you just wait over
no,
there...
Trev, I don't want your autograph. This is a summons for mortgage arrears on the Marina View boarding house, Ilfracombe. You've got 28 days or 3 months in the nick. Bumpkin.
As I was saying, this week's big issue is bailiffs, and what's the best way to dispose of their bodies?